everyone, I'm back with another video, and today I'm guest blogging for Mama Elephant. I'm going to be using this Yappy Woofmas stamp set as well as Polar Pals for the sentiments. This was one of my first Mama Elephant stamps that I've ever purchased. Also going to be using these sentiments from Ayeti for that star banner, which is one of my favorite stamps ever. I've stamped out the images on Michael's 110 cardstock. I'm going to be doing some really simple Copic coloring today because I wanted to show you guys how to do the soft ink blending. So I get a lot of questions on my Instagram on how to do the soft ink blending, and truth be told, whenever I do it, it is literally hit or miss. And I always tell people it was hit or miss. I just got lucky this time. When I figure out how to do it consistently, I'm going to make a video. And I figured it out, so I'm going to put it on this video. And you guys, I am so happy that I figured out how to do the soft ink blending. I really have a heavy hand, so it's really hard for me to do it with a light hand. It like really never works. And I've used literally makeup brushes, towels, like different things, and the way that I figured it out is super simple, and I can do the soft ink blending every single time. And I'm so happy to share it with you guys because I've been wanting to figure it out and let you guys know, because I know it's one of those things where it looks easy, but when you try to do it, it's hard to do. So I will have all of the Copic color marker colors that I used on my corresponding blog post. I'm using E30 and E31 for the dogs, R22 and R24 for all the reds, G00 and G000 for the greens, and then also RV11, RV13 for that bow on the bone. I've cut out my panel with the Cloud9 panel die, and I really like the squiggly edges on the sides, and then I'm going to use that panel and cut out the Columbus die on it, so there's stitching everywhere. The Columbus die is one of my favorites. I'm also using On the Hills die, and I've cut out that smaller hill. Okay, let the soft ink blending begin. First, you need to use Bristol Smooth cardstock, and then I have Distress Oxide ink here, and I'm taking my applicator, and see how I'm pouncing it, and I'm pouncing it on a piece of scratch paper. That's important. Some people use the Slick Ranger mat, and I have to use a piece of scratch paper because I want to buff out that ink on the scratch paper. And as I'm buffing out the ink on the scratch paper, I can see where the ink starts to look good and smooth. And when I like the consistency on the scratch paper, then I move it to my real piece of paper. So as you can see there, I'm doing this in real time too, so you can see what it looks like. I put the ink, I pounce it on my scratch paper, I move it around on the scratch paper until I like the consistency, and then I move it onto the real paper. And then that way you will not get any weird circles, any weird harsh marks. It is just totally smooth and it is effortless. So I'm really happy that it worked out, and you can see there that it's perfect, and I am so happy. I'll have pictures later. I know my lighting is super bright, but that is how you do it, you guys. So try it out. Let me know. Tag me on Instagram. I want to see. So now I'm speeding it up. So ink on the blender, do it off to the side on a real piece of scratch paper, and then when you like the consistency, move it on to your real piece of paper. So I promise you this works every time. Make sure you use Bristol Smooth cardstock because that's part of it. And you have to do it off to the side on a piece of scratch paper because the Distress Oxides are really super pigmented, and you really want as least possible ink on your ink blending tool as possible, if that makes any sense. So here I'm doing the Columbus die. I just put in the negative piece on the inside just so it would be easier to blend out. So now that I have all my pieces, I'm going to put this puppy together. I have my little houses. That's from the On the Hills die. And then I'm going to place them behind that little star opening on my panel. And I ran out of adhesive, so I'm using, I think, score tape. And so I'm just positioning it. And then I have a lot of hollies, and I kind of wanted to decorate the little houses with hollies, and I really like the holly images, so I had to just use them. So I'm just gluing that on with some Scotch Quick Dry. And then here is the piece that we just ink blended. I'm gonna stamp out the From Our Home to Yours, and then on the inside it'll say Warm Holiday Wishes. So I will be making a shaker card, so I'm going to put my acetate behind my panel. I'm going to adhere that on the Hills blended panel at the bottom where it has the sentiment. And then I'm going to adhere all my dog images sort of on top of that little hill. And I'm so in love with the little shaggy dog with the Christmas lights. It's my favorite. I had to use that image. And I have my little dogs on the side of him, and then I'll have my dog with the wreath on top. I did make 2 little star banners off camera, and then I'm going to put them on either side of the wreath. So I put a lot of glue and it seeped all over the place. So make sure that you put just a tiny bit of glue because it is a really thin die cut. I'm just going to cut off the excess because they were bigger. And then now I'm going to do the dreaded double-sided foam tape. I'm just going to use 1 layer. And I haven't really found like a quick way to put this foam tape down, so I'm just going to power through this and then just fill in all the gaps to make sure that my shaker is nice and tight. And I'm just going to put it all around. And then every single year I wanted to use snow, and I never do it. So I bought the snow from the dollar store, and they're these little tiny foam balls. And so I did not anticipate that they would be bigger than my foam tape, so they kind of got stuck. So I'm starting my little shaker process here with the mini gold stars, and there you see my foam balls. And I did not put enough, and they're actually not moving. So I have all these gaps. So in order to kind of disguise my gaps because my foam balls aren't moving, I'm adhering my gold stars directly on the acetate up front. And that way, it's kind of masking the fact that I didn't fill my shaker enough with the shaker bits. And so I just put a ton of gold stars all over the place, and it came out super cute. I'm glad that I did that because it just looked really empty because I didn't put enough balls. But I just put a lot, and it was easy to do, and it made the card look super cute, and it made it appear that the shaker window was super filled. I always take my excess images and I put them inside. I'm putting holly, and I always like to do something small in the back. So I'm going to put a little bone there. And then that's my card. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it. I hope you try the ink blending. Remember to tag me on Instagram. I want to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys. Happy holidays.